Hi, I'm Mike Lowe for What's Digital Camera, and today we're reviewing the new Canon EOS 1100D entry-level DSLR. This new DSLR has a 12.2 megapixel CMOS sensor and also has a 9-point autofocus system, in addition to a new 720p HD movie recording mode as well. The 1100D has everything you'd expect from an entry-level DSLR, although we do have one or two slight qualms about the actual design. The smooth, plasticky finish doesn't necessarily feel the greatest, and there's no proper hold on the grip. Furthermore, underneath, the SD slot joins the battery compartment, which, if you're mounted on a tripod, can cause a problem if you need to access the card during shooting. The 1100D offers a 9-point autofocus system, which is now over a slightly wider array than the previous 7-point autofocus system that the 1000D offered. There's also a single button here that allows the single autofocus point to be selected either individually or all of them used automatically as well. On the rear of the camera there's a 95% field of view optical viewfinder, which basically means that what you frame misses out 5% of what the final shot will actually have. This is very standard for an entry-level DSLR, and for most people isn't going to cause a particularly big issue with what you're composing. Below this, and there's a 2.7-inch 230,000 dot LCD screen. It's perhaps a bit disappointing that this isn't actually a larger screen, as most of the competition will offer a 3-inch screen, and considering the amount of space available here, it seems disappointing that Canon haven't really jumped ahead of the competition to offer something greater. When shooting in video mode, you have to flick the top dial to the video setting, otherwise it won't be possible to get this 16:9 live preview. Video mode itself is a 720p HD recording, which is a pretty decent quality, although there are some issues as per live view in slow focusing, which will come through in the final shot that you take. You can manual focus if you'd rather. Although there's not full manual controls across the board, such as adjusting aperture during recording, it is possible to fix the exposure using the exposure lock button over on the corner here. In terms of image quality, the 1100D uses the latest 63 zone iFCL, which stands for Intelligent Focus Color Luminance. This does a very fine job indeed, and even bright skies don't entirely dominate a scene, which ensures there's enough detail throughout. The 1100D's JPEG files straight from the camera are lusciously coloured, yet retain a good depth to the blacks. The lower ISO settings maintain the punch of realistic colour up until about ISO 800. Thereafter there's some loss, but it's generally still impressive. Image noise is also handled extremely well indeed. ISO 100 to 200 are very clean, while ISO 400 presents ever so slight loss of edge detail due to noise reduction processing. ISO 1600 is where image noise grain begins to reveal its prominence. ISO 3200 is still well handled, although this is probably the highest setting we'd opt to use if we had to. There's also ISO 6400, which is quite reasonably controlled in terms of image noise, but the limited sharpness can become a problem. Although softness can also be a bit of an issue, overall the image quality is the best that you can get from an entry-level DSLR. It's easily on par with that from the Nikon D3100. The 1100D is the latest entry-level DSLR to reach the market, and as such it's priced fairly high up, about £500 on its launch price. This will come down over time, although it may be a bone of contention for some people at the moment. There are cheaper options out there, but overall this camera offers that little bit extra that you can't get from some of the competitors. The image quality combined with the performance from the autofocus system essentially makes this the best DSLR there is at the entry-level end of the market. There are one or two issues, such as the smooth finish of the body and the softness from the 18 to 55mm lens, but otherwise it's a very decent performer indeed that we awarded 89% and our recommended award.